Hi, my name is Cody Black. I'm a PhD candidate in ethnomusicology at Duke University, and I'll be reading a very short excerpt from my paper, Analog Optimism, for which I won the second prize of the SHA graduate writing competition. If I may extract any sort of melancholia from how life actualizes through its encounters with Newtro, those otherwise forgotten material and oral fragments of a Korean Opal past, is not solely predicated on Eunbin's assessment of the unfortunate circumstance that Koreans seem to be forgetting who they are. Rather, these observations made by such philosophers and critics who wander the streets of Seoul, like Eunbin, simultaneously address concerns of how the unfolding of life feels constrained by determinability, which shapes and limits certain proclivities of what one can be, or will be, those ontological wonderings that have been surrendered to compressed forms of becoming shaped by the digital conditions of contemporary life. With life increasingly propelled forward by the schizophrenic drive of intensified accumulation, such means of becoming find themselves macerated by overbearing competitiveness, compressing the total sensory engagement of life while surrendering the self to the demands of trend-oriented movements. Compressed are the resonances of life that emerge in between. Compressed are its values and desires. Compressed is its indeterminable future. One loses the potential of themselves without knowing it. Only possible selves have the right to become. This too influences the aural sensorial capacity to listen outside these temporal bounds. In these aural renderings of digital life, would it ever then be possible to not only experience duration without pretense, but also to listen in such a manner? How do we begin to not hear not just the voices of our informants durationally, but by listening to these analog sounds of life silenced in between its digitalized renderings, how do we begin to sense life and its potentialities optimistically? Not in the sense of a promised happiness or hopefulness, but with the considerations that constrained life may creatively move beyond how it is rendered through compression, as exhausting as may be. To listen as duration would imply that one aurally encounters the unexpected, the new, the indeterminable. One would relinquish their proclivity for actively attempting to anticipate or control the resonances of that new, a new that is aurally projected from the sounds they encounter in the now and its assumed links to the aural past. To listen as duration would invoke a mode of listening in which movement is not delineated by steps or cartographic intermediaries. Instead, it senses progress as a resonating in the indeterminacy of potentiality. Listening durationally invites one to listen alongside and through the analog intensities of life, which are continuously morphing from one state to another at the very instant one attempts to make sense of them. Okay. Thank you.